They put us into boxes so that they can stack us up in ways that can structure a society, even at the expense of some people suffocating. Hello, welcome to my first unboxing video where we have to unbox ourselves from unfair societal expectations. So anyway, firstly, bakit ba meron expectations to begin with? Well, you enter into a contract. In school, you enrolled. At work, you accepted a job offer. Sa mga club organizations, you applied for membership. The things you should do, who you should be, is dictated by the contract that you got. You technically opted yourself into these expectations. But there are many things expected of us due to social contracts. These are things made through general consensus. Pinag-usapan lang natin. There are formal ones like constitution and laws, and there are also informal ones like culture, social norms, and social conventions. Let's talk about informal contracts. These can either be good or bad, but one thing is certain, these become more stronger. Kumaga, mas mahirap siyang makawala, mas mahirap siyang hanapan ng way out when all of us have strongly agreed upon these things. The first point of it being unfair is when we were born, nandiyan na yung mga informal social contracts. This culture, these norms, these social mores, these were arbitrarily defined by the people before us, and they just simply pass it from generation after generation. Siguro it made some sense to them at that time, but it doesn't allow some wiggle room for changing times, especially when we're dealing with varied interests of people. That's when things become unfair. Unlike the other things I mentioned earlier, like yung school, yung job that you actively signed up for, these are the things na nandyan na siya kagad di ba? So it's not something that we made under our own volition. This is not the case for toxic societal expectations, which are not actually putting our interest in mind, but rather for preservation kung ano yung nakasanayan. All of a sudden, we just felt like there is an imposition of how exactly we will be living our lives, the pathways to take, the phases we should enter in, and even the sequence of said phases in our lives. For example, go to school, take a course, mas maganda if STEM course ang pipiliin mo because that's where the money is. Take a job, be successful, be rich. In between these lines, humanities courses or entrepreneurship are always pushed aside or are valued less. Another example, while you're young, invest in building up your career because you'll find someone who will complete you, and by age 30, you should get married and have biological kids. That statement is pretty much loaded, but it has normalized being partnered or having a family with children as a life default, and that those who are single or do not follow the traditional family setup are missing out in life. Don't get me started on the gendered expectation of how the man should be, how the woman should act, and that any family setup that is not following man, woman, children is something that's completely odd. Or what about the general notion that life is a linear progression, that as you age, you must continue adding things up, increasing your value, sticking to that field, and end up becoming an expert or a master. You cannot explore other things, you cannot revisit old interests of yours, and that life is all about productivity and income inflation. And worse, you cannot afford making a mistake. A life that's simple, a life with less, is not the right way to live. These are unfair. It does work for some people, and I know a lot of my friends who are very much happy to follow this kind of patterns. Probably because it's convenient, it's been working for so many people, and many are living testimonies of it already. I am not against the examples mentioned earlier, per se, but what makes this toxic expectation is when it's seen as the one sure way, the only way, the strict definition of success or happiness, and any other deviation from said life playbook is wrong. These unfair societal expectations, they get magnified because they're well promoted from different fronts, from media depiction, from family dynamic. And when it has become such a strong social narrative through word of mouth, it's difficult to opt out. Actually, even if you can pinpoint many people saying that these expectations are okay, I wonder how many of these people were subjected to years and years of social pressure that they've become jaded already. The student who pursued a career in the arts, who threw away years of studying business management. Suddenly, the couple who chose to get married at a young age is promiscuous or irresponsible. The couple who chose to not have children, they are the weird couple. The woman who started a new career on her 40s, it's late now. Kid who talks in front of the camera instead of just working his ass off, have not yet figured out his life yet. Ever wondered why these expectations? Why preserve social conventions when we can clearly see cases of the youth feeling depressed, overworked, and distant? Well, somehow these societal expectations organize society. They assign labels and functions to people, roles that they should follow and fulfill because that's how society has been doing all this time. From the get-go, it sounds nice, no? But the problem here is it doesn't take into account that as the story of our society progresses, there will be various personality types. There will be people with different experiences and different phases of growth that these unique individuals will encounter in their life, and that these template expectations will not accommodate such vibrant and multifaceted individuals. They put us into a box so that they can easily pinpoint this is you, that is him, this one is her. They put us into boxes so that they can stack us up in ways that can structure a society, even at the expense of some people suffocating. They put us into boxes for control and convenience. But you cannot contain our free spirits. The somehow sad part, anybody who chose not to subscribe to these unfair societal expectations are celebrated as rebels, deviants, or mga pawoke. And that is of course true. Pero hanggang ngayon, rebel pa rin ba? Hanggang ngayon, parang these are odd actions of people. Why can it be seen as a normal thing? I wanted to push a better societal message where we normalize these life choices. These should be seen as typical things in the same way that a woman who chooses motherhood over career, or a kid wanting to become a doctor because he or she is part of a family of doctors. These things are okay, and all the other choices are also valid. Because the common feature in all of these is freedom. Freedom to do the things that you want under your own terms. Choosing something different is not an odd choice. Rather, it should be seen as an equally valid choice as well. Here's the good news. When we talk about social contracts, we can negotiate and actively shape them. And you know what? It becomes easier when all of us are on the same page and are open for discussion. And that goes for both ends. I hope everybody opens up the boxes of society. There are actually many of them and all you need to do is just unbox ourselves. Yun, I tried to do an unboxing video, pero the truth is I wanted to unravel or unpack the expectations that we have from people, especially to the younger generations. And yung sinabi ko nga kanina, the box that I got is a general box about the expectations of society of how people or the young ones should live their lives. But inside that box, marami pang other boxes dyan. Like for example, gender norms or what kids can't tell. And I wanted to solicit the opinion of people of what are the different kinds of boxes that you want to unbox. What are the different things that you want to get rid of society and want to start a conversation with. You can easily share that in the comment box, or you can message me privately, and this might be something that I can sustain all throughout. And yun lang. This channel is all about sharing your thoughts on the matter so that we can have a better discussion. Pwede kayong mag-comment, share a link, share a video of the things that you can relate to or your personal experiences. This is something that we can work on. Yun lang. Bye.